to Screen Forecast, your host Alvin Kamau, and happy February, as I'm going to do a quick recap on our recent January snow, specifically that winter storm we had between the 24th and the 25th. And hold up, did I say the National Storm Chaser Summit? We're going to talk about this later on in the video, so make sure you watch it all the way to the end. Let's get started though with how it looked like when you were waking up Sunday, January 25th, opening those doors to this. All of this snow that we saw, this was me opening my backyard, and you did not want to wear tennis shoes because that wasn't going to do it. You would need boots to walk in this kind of snow, but I was able to get out there and measure just about 8 inches of snow where I live, but parts of southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois received over a foot of snow, so this even takes me back to that big winter storm we had back in 2019. And of course this was all for the snow lovers, so doing their snow dance, jumping in the snow, and of course having many snow days, and of course memories were made. But can't forget those down to the south, especially over parts of Arkansas and Tennessee where they saw an ice storm out of this. Thoughts and prayers with them, because there are even some spots in Tennessee that are still without power even today, February 1st. My official February 2026 calendar. I like to do this every February when we're talking about the summit, and as you can see we have that on the calendar. But can't forget about Groundhog's Day. I'm thinking at this point that the groundhog will see its shadow and we'll see 6 more weeks of winter, but of course it might have a mind of its own. So of course changes are always possible with that. I do also have a flake on here between Tuesday and Wednesday, and of course this is the calendar, so make sure you're looking at the right date. Doesn't look like what we just dealt with, but just want to put it on your radar just in case. And then of course the Chaser Summit between February 5th, Thursday, through February 7th in Denver, Colorado. The one in 2025 was back in Kansas City, and that one was actually between Friday and Sunday. And so this one was a bit more of a sacrifice because I missed a few more days of school with it, but with it all, that also means it's a plane ticket getting out there and flying instead of driving, because from here to Denver is about 12 hours, and that would be a pretty long drive. And then getting back on Sunday, that's the Super Bowl, so I think that's what we're all going to be spending our time watching before I do resume my updates on February 15th. And so that'll be the day I'm back to bring you those updates, and in case anything changes, I'll of course let you know on my social media platforms. This calendar also shows you that my X on It's Alvin Weather, and then of course Instagram and Threads, Weather with Alvin. So that is where you can follow me to get the latest, and of course the link to that is down in the description. Let's take a look at our Climate Prediction Center's thinking on how those temperature trends will be until I do talk to you more about how the Chaser Summit was, or just how anything was at this point. Looking at those early portions of February, you see out there towards Colorado where most will be heading, we're thinking above normal temperatures. So we're going to be able to escape these colder temperatures. But getting into early February, we'll keep an eye on a brief thaw even for our region, but we are leaning just near or slightly below normal for Missouri and Illinois. And our normal highs for this time of the year are in the lower 40s. They continue to go upwards as we've started another year, and so that will be temperatures that are in the 30s, or even at times, if we can get this warmer air to move into our region, temperatures that can get warm enough to melt a little bit of this snow if you're not a fan of snow. But parts of the Northeast, high confidence, and you've seen this in my last few videos, that they will have below normal temperatures. And of course this system that we had between January 24th and 25th even impacted parts of the Northeast, so that snow that they got is not going anywhere anytime soon. Even in that 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, we see pretty much the same thing. Lots of consistency with those above normal temperatures, even over parts of the east. In our region, it's really a dividing the United States, where we're leaning near or slightly below normal. So again, that would be temperatures slightly below that normal of the lower 40s, or even some days where we can get even milder temperatures to move our way. So that is something I'll be monitoring. And of course this takes us into that week where I won't be uploading before I do resume my updates here on February 15th. And so that is something you do need to know. Looking at our long range outlook, you see lots of consistency, and this is why I've started showing that 3 to 4 week outlook. lots of confidence that parts of the Northeast will be below average, and for our region, that splits equal chances of above or even below normal temperature, even especially over parts of the West where they will stay above normal. And so this is definitely something that we'll question if we're going to get all of this snow to melt in February. I think we will see some melting, but we're going to also watch for that reinforcing cold air, specifically the further east you drive, because parts of the Northeast, if that looks like it will continue, you're not going to see a lot of snow melting even after the snowstorm that we all just dealt with and of course won't forget. But until then, that's going to do it for my green screen forecast. Thank you for watching. Of course, I have a jam-packed and exciting week ahead. Make sure you follow me on my socials, X, so that we can talk more about the snow that's on the ground instead of more snow, because I don't think we all want to hear about more snow coming, but of course I'm here to keep you informed. If I do see the chance of more snow, I of course will let you know on my socials, so make sure you follow me on there. Also, for the National Storm Chaser Summit coming up, and if anything changes with that, I'll let you know. So again, make sure you follow me on my socials, and we'll be talking more about that summit for any one of you that are heading there. But until then, I hope you have a safe start to your week, and for those going to Denver, I will see you there.